This podcast was recorded in Melbourne, Australia, known by the traditional owners as Nam. We would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation and pay our respects to their elders past, present, and emerging. We celebrate their resilience, their continuing culture, and acknowledge that their sovereignty was never ceded.
All you baddies, benders, and babes, and welcome back to the Book of War, an Avatar Legends real play. The story of 4 runaways seeking the Book of War in a world without the Avatar. My name is Jesse Thomas, and I play Minh, FANG, the Foundling, he, him, a runaway from the Earth Kingdom who found a new home for themselves in the Northern Water Tribe while hiding from deadly family secrets. He's a lava bender. My Minh fact for today is I immediately forgot it after telling you all. What did I say? I was going to say...
How are you feeling?
Oh, yes. How is Minh feeling? I want to clarify, in the last episode, he was to all the waterbenders that went, or water tribe on the ship. He was like, how many of you have spoken to my mother? And he was like, they're all narcs. He absolutely thinks 100% that every single one of them is here to spy on him or his mother. So he is either being on his best or worst behavior for the most part, but there's no in between. And essentially is treating them the same as he treated them before, but with a bit more of like a, don't you tell my mother.
I don't know whether I was just unbelievably impressed at how close that was or the minimal sleep I've had, but that felt so clean. And then you were just like, but it was wrong.
I blacked out. I don't know what happened.
The spirit of Minh Fang took over. Yeah.
Hello, my name's Lucas. I play Tomo the Hammer, he, him, a combustion bender freed from his past demons and ready to unleash his full power to right all the wrongs in the world and to protect his family. Lucas fact, my brother-in-law is visiting and he said, I'll take care of dinner, and bless his heart, he has not. So so Lucas and Tomo will not suffer any fools tonight. I warned you that I am on a short fuse.
Ooh. That missing
Challenge accepted.
Speaking of fools, Ted, do you want to go first?
No.
Hello, my name is Georgie Hazel and I play Nuro, the Destined, they, she, he. Nuro is a runaway from the strange and mystical foggy swamp. Once a lone wanderer and now part of a pack, Nuro finds themselves navigating a world more complex and mysterious than they ever thought possible. But every step they take from the swamp, the shadow grows bigger. My fact is that we were at PAX.
Sure were.
Packs.
We had our photos taken and everything. Signed autographs.
We did. We signed autographs.
Yeah.
Yes, and we had a few really lovely Patreon listeners in the front row. One of them being Tessa from the Discord, who shared a really beautiful Nuro art a week back or so, and then surprised me with a print of it. And it is so beautiful, isn't it, fellas?
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
The colours are amazing.
Yeah.
The potatoes hidden away.
Yeah, hidden potatoes.
One might say a
Rocked my
surprise.
Many surprise potatoes.
Tessa gets it. Tessa gets it.
Thank you so much, Tessa. It was beautiful.
Speaking of beautiful,
Speaking
Ted
of
Darling.
beautiful.
Thank you. I didn't want to say it myself, but that's what I was going for. My name's Ted Darling, and I play Banji, the Idealist, a runaway firebender who has risen from the ashes of his old life with the fate of the world resting on the edge of a blade. He fights for freedom, for justice, and for peace. Banji fact for this week, he has been walking around the ship with the fakest smile ever because he feels very guilty, but also never really knows how to kind of broach it with these guys. Just sort of like, hey, are we chill? I know that things are weird between us, but that simultaneous thing of like, okay, we really need to get over this, but also we have some unresolved trauma. So yeah.
I feel just I'm going to nail this energy in one interaction. It is 2 people who are certain they know each other, but can't remember their names.
Yep.
So it's like all conversations are so superficial. Like, how's the thing? Oh, that's great. Really glad to hear that. Gotta go. Yeah.
I think the only one he's actually talking like well with is Arturo. That's Arturo's chill and stuff. Even with Nuro, like he had a little moment with Nuro, but I think there's still some stuff that needs to be sort it out.
Yeah.
I mean, on behalf of Tomo, because I can do that because I play Tomo.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Tomo's got no beef with Banji.
Hello, my name is Ash, and I play the Grandmaster of the White Lotus. Or if you were at PAX, you would have seen the shirt, which was, in fact, a goose monkey. Yes, if we sound a little bit dusty in this recording, apologies. We've just, finished the weekend. And so it's been a pretty big weekend in the most wonderful possible way. Thank you so much for those that came out and supported us. Thank you for those that took our cards and were interested there, and you're now 3 months later finally listening to this part where we're thanking you.
Congratulations, that's a great binge effort. Good.
Yeah, good. Well, actually, 2 weeks is the current record. But one thing that I would love to say is that for those of you that did see the t-shirts, we're actually trying to figure out how to make that actual merch for people that you can buy. So watch this space, I guess, and if it's your jam. Hey, you could own your very own Minh Fang looking grumpy from your very own t-shirt.
Yes, but I want to preface, where I'm going to start looking into it. I want to do it without slave labor.
100%. 100%.
I really want to try and make that possible because I just don't believe in it because you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it in your regular life. So if we're going to do merch, I would like to completely avoid it if I can. So,
yeah, so it may be a little while we actually do due diligence there.
Research, yeah.
But with that said, it's so sad not to have him live. But Jesse, roll Matt Harrison's music. To get everybody up to speed as to where the Runaways currently are. After they had spent a bit of time, a week in fact, grounded in Agnikella, and we saw just a little bite-sized snippet on how those weeks went, there was a bit of a chat with both Yuka and Meng Shou about where to go next, and the answer was they're not quite certain, but the Foggy Swamp needs to be the ultimate aim right now due to danger, but there has to be a stop on the way. That stop being Natsuo Island, where there is a lost FANG family member who may be able to help Minh get a few extra skills that will help along the way. Our story...
Some of that good FANG juice that's good at fighting spirits.
That blue juice.
Jesse's doing the robot here. I think it was...
Quaaludes.
Our story actually starts a few days into the journey, and I feel that this general simmering temperature amongst people just hasn't quite gone resolved overall. Weirdly enough, I don't know whether anyone's actually put 2 and 2 together. All the Water Tribe members are kind of avoiding Banji a bit because they don't know who he is and why there's this firebender
that makes sense.
Hanging out in the ship, and they're like, and no one, anytime they slightly maybe bring it up, everyone gets a little bit angry or a little bit silent. So they're just... absolutely, Banji notices that it's being ignored.
And actually, that would be a very good way to vet any spies of my mother because they would know who Banji is. If there was any White Lotus member spies, they would know who Banji is.
I'm not even going to make you roll for it. None of them seem to know who Banji is.
Okay. Good to know. I think most days start with some sort of do any journaling lately, Banji? No? Good. Keep your hands away from the pens. And so goes about serving himself breakfast.
So he's getting a little bit bratty about it.
Oh, Min's getting bratty about it. Yeah. I think he's just really sort of testing the waters and seeing exactly how far he can jape at him as sort of punishment.
I think in retaliation, if there's a toaster, I don't know if we use we toast things, toast bread, a little fire.
It'd be like a prong, I meant. You hold the bread with a prong or something like that.
Anytime Minh Fang's toasting, Banji just makes the fire go a little bit more and burn his bread.
Joke's on you, that's how I like it.
Dead on the outside.
And he's just sour face,
Man, you didn't even put anything on the bread.
I said what I said. That's how I like it.
Tomo is just going to just sigh. Just sigh. And know that as soon as things actually heat up, and find ourselves against real enemies, we'll come back. We'll come back.
Yeah, I think Banji is... Most of the days, I think he's spending it in the engine room, just sort of shoveling coal or hanging out with Katara.
You're throwing yourself into the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really weird introspective experience. Or like chatting to Arturo in the captain's quarters.
Arturo's chipper. Arturo's like cruising through life. He's like, hey, everybody. It's good to see everyone's back again.
Didn't you say you were gone for like 2 minutes?
Yeah, but like, I was when Banji left and everyone was really, struggling. It was, that wasn't a great time, and that was a few days, maybe. I forget.
I think it was weeks. 5 weeks.
Well, that's what I mean. It was almost a time removed from time. I don't know how to explain that any better. Just put it down to weird spirit stuff.
I'm not going to think about it, to be honest. It's going to hurt my head too much.
That sounds about right.
Nuro, do you know what's ahead of us? You're connected to the swamp. The swamp is in danger. Is it sending you any kind of messaging or messages?
It's funny you should ask that, Tomo. Nuro, increasingly your dreams, you haven't been able to translate exactly what they are. The easiest way to describe it is it's growing more panicked. Almost like it's crushing. So every night your dreams are getting more and more crushing.
Crushing.
It's the easiest way to describe it. You wake up feeling...
Can't quite remember, but they feel just so oppressive.
You absolutely wake up, and every single night, it feels like there's more pressure.
Yeah. Okay, I think that over the days, if that is happening, Nuro is waking up more and more just exhausted, just like purple under the eyes, basically. To your question, I think you startle them because they've just been like totally zoned out, and look up at you and is pretty happy actually that you're speaking to them because I think that they noticed your fear and have potentially been keeping their distance. So it's a little bit of an awkward, well, see, when I first found the stick, I saw everything scurrying from something. And now I think I've been dreaming, but I can't quite see it. And they just start to like wrap themselves up in their arms, I think, and they're just like squeezing to the point where you almost see like their nails start biting into their skin.
Has Nuro tried to focus on it in any way, shape, or form, or a little bit too scared?
Yeah, you know what? I really do. I think they would have by themselves, up in the crow's nest or by themselves at night.
Yeah.
Potentially tried to using the stick, potentially even, or.
I would say that as it's gone on over the days, it's actually getting harder. You're sort of like, oh, I'm beginning to sort of ping in and like just get that focus, but it's so distressing that you just can't. Like, if you try and meditate with so many stressful things on your mind, it just cascades back into just a tumultuous ideology.
Yeah, I think they're trying to explain it to you. They're just fumbling their words, and then they just like kind of stop and look up confused at you, and I'm worried, Tomo.
I think there's a big part of Tomo that would just love nothing more than just wrap you up in a big hug.
Yeah.
But there's also something holding him back from doing that.
Yeah.
So I think he's just.
I think they're almost like expected.
Yeah. And I think Tomo like is like sort of catching himself.
Yeah.
And your home is in danger, Nuro. If there ever was a time to find whatever it is inside you to rise up to meet this is going to be it. And you can do it. I believe you.
That is a very positive spin on what's happening with them, actually. For you to remind them that they could potentially make use out of what they have. I think that even settles them a little bit. And they nod. Like, we gotta get there soon, though. Time is running out, Tony.
We'll get there when we get there. Just stay your breathing, practice your forms. Don't let the fear overtake you.
Minh, FANG, and Banji, are you watching this interaction, or are you...
No, so I think at the start of this interaction, Minh saw how worried Nuro was, and he left the
Right.
conversation. And he will come back at the end of this scene. But yeah, he pretty much just like he does look up at Banji and sort of go, "That's something." Like we sort of like just an acknowledgement of like that's not good. Because I think this is the first he's heard of Nuro having dreams about it. But yeah, and then I think he will return in just a moment, unless Banji doesn't have anything to add.
No, I think Banji, again, he's feeling that sort of awkwardness where he doesn't really know where he fits in with everybody. So seeing that Nuro's seeking Tomo out for comfort, he just hangs in the back and eats his breakfast.
Yeah.
Hangs out with his sword.
I hate that. Yeah, look, I feel that there is a certain point where Dad comes in to a space where everyone happens to be, whether that's breakfast or whether that's later on in the day. He says, Natsuo is not too far away. Is there anything you need before we get there? Like, do you have a plan?
No, at this point, I think Minh returns, and you see him with a bunch of his comic scrolls that he's smuggled in, like from his house.
Nice.
Taken. And he's like, "No, Dad, I think this is going to be very much we need to get the lay of the land first, and then decide our best course of action. Because I don't know how to find a family member of mine that doesn't identify as a FANG anymore. And I have a few ideas, but I think we're going to have to see the state of Natsuo first before we make that call."
Well, I mean, maybe we could talk to Worf or Ati. They might still.
Yes, but being like, "Hey, have you seen an earthbender?" They'll be like, "Yeah." Do you know what I mean?
How long would they have been on the island? Could they have been a recent arrival?
No, realistically, I don't know. They were banished before. I mean, this is the first I've heard about it, and there was something in my family line that didn't make sense. It was a cut-off section, and I'm starting to think that this might have to do with this FANG. But I realistically know nothing about them. Mother wouldn't even tell me his name.
Not even what he looks like.
Oh, I mean, we'll see what they look like. As FANGs are an attractive pedigree of earthbender. You'll know.
Nuro just holds up the thumb.
Minh furrows his brow, reminiscent of.
Does it make it look bigger?
It does. And he's like, "Right, young child," and he scatters these things onto the bench, and he's like, "It's learning time."
I think like that is very reminiscent of like I think how their mom would approach right now. It's happening right now. So I think they're just like I think you see them like go to like hightail.
Grab them.
Yeah, they run.
Yeah, Banji like sticks a leg out and trips them. As they fall, just like grabs their collar.
Yeah,
And, like,
they're just like
pulls
in
them
the
back.
air, just like.
And then you just hear like a whoosh, and Minh wraps the rope around Nuro, and they're like,
My favorite part of this is Banji is definitely not the guardian anymore. He is the enforcer.
Minh sits opposite Nuro and unfurls a scroll, and he's right. "This is Sue," and points to a character. "This is Ma." And he just starts going through all these characters. And he's making them learn how to read and write.
I actually kind of like this a lot.
Yeah, I think actually like when they were expecting something else, like a hair, like they were expecting. Yeah, we're gonna give you a lesson in hygiene, kid. Nah, I think when they actually like they realize what you're trying to do, they're like, oh.
No, I actually kind of want to live up to your principle of patience here.
Yeah. No, it is definitely like just because they have like a little inkling of desire to do it doesn't mean that they're going to be a good student.
Yeah,
Could I actually, and I know I'm not sure this is usually how it works, but like, can I call Nuro out to be patient?
Yeah, that was sort of what I was going to say. It's
So
kind of like,
what's-
yes, the move that I was talking about then is live up to your principle, which is when you can use your principle instead of an actual move. So we'll get to that in a second. But in this case, it is absolutely Minh Fang calling out Nuro that you can be patient. This is your time.
Yeah.
What is your current balance?
It is +2 towards patience actually.
Cool. So I think I shift my balance 1 away from center.
Yes.
The cost. So I'm now back to.
That's got to be unity.
No, because I was +1 heritage because of a failed roll. So now I think I'm back to +2 in favor of heritage.
Okay.
But my center.
This is it. You're teaching Nuro how you were taught.
Yes. Yeah.
You are channeling.
you
So
look
we
at
start
Minh.
clashing
Yeah,
very quickly.
I think you look at Minh and you just see his mother for a second.
Yeah.
Strong Meng show energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I roll with your principal, which is a +2 for your patience.
+2 patience.
All right. Double sixes.
Wow.
14. Oh my god, this is how you guys feel? This is what it feels like? I've never rolled this high outside of combat. This is incredible. A 14.
What a weekend for you, sir.
What a
great
monthly
successes.
alive. Yeah, so on a hit they are called to act as you say and must either do it or mark a condition.
All right. So I imagine, okay, so up to this point, you've been trying to give your lessons. Eventually, like, they maybe start repeating back. You do something, you call them out, like, you give them that's not the right pronunciation, and they just start, and then...
I think
Yeah.
I got Nuro. The reason I'm teaching you this is not because reading is a valuable skill that you really should know, but people write stories. Stories share information with us across time, and I know you have powers that can call on the past, but you can't do that if you don't know as many stories as possible. These are important, and these are how I learned things.
Yeah, but your mom's kind of a side.
Don't worry about my mother. My mother isn't here. Minh Fang is here. This is a Minh Fang space right now, okay? You're gonna learn.
I'm gonna learn.
Good. Say it again.
I'm gonna learn.
Once more with feeling.
I'm gonna learn how to read.
This is
And he's
up-
like, right, next page.
100%. I thought you were just going to say, did you know that you can actually read these comic stories? You didn't go that way, and I like
promise,
that.
I think the illusion of this is Minh is trying to distract Nuro.
Yeah.
And you can stop focusing on the present by finding comfort in in stories.
With that success and that just wonderfully triumphant end of a scene, I would say that at the end of this entire lesson, Nuro, you now know enough that you can identify these characters and can begin to learn on your own.
Fabulous. Yeah. Do I walk away with like?
I think at the end I'm like, all right, so this one you have to read by tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow. And I want at least one page of copied characters, whichever ones you find the most interesting, but they have to be perfect. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. And Minh also salutes back and hands over the 2 scrolls. One is a scroll about a squidfish traveling the different seas of the world, which is like a kid's story, which Minh used to love. Cute. And then I think the other one is about the badger moles.
Okay.
And they're sort of like teaching of earthbending through the Oma and Shu story.
Next Minh Fang fact has to be this squidfish story.
Okay.
Amazing.
And what was my homework again? Any page of characters.
He wants a page of characters, whichever ones you like the most.
Yep.
But they have to be perfect. You have
Yep.
to copy them down perfectly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm kind of a little bit upset that Neuro's so happy to be learning. I don't think it's wrong,
Worked, though, isn't
but
it?
it feels
Completely
weird.
Forgot
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Forgot about the bad dreams.
Absolutely, can confirm.
How good are you with that sword, Banji? And Tomo draws out his tonfas and just points upstairs to the deck. Care for a little spar?
Well, I did learn from the best.
Let's see what you've got.
Rely on your skills and training, please.
I got to roll against Tomo? What? Oh, all right.
Technically, you could have cheated and used
Yeah.
your
the
dragon's
dragon.
bargain, but
No, I mean, I don't want to lean on that too much. That's
All right.
an 11. I don't need him.
That's fine. Look, I am -1 on my focus these days.
so it's only a 16.
It's a 7.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you want to describe it, Ted, or do you want me to?
I'll describe it. I think
Actually, 8. Sorry, I lied.
All right, Ted, settle it down. Whatever you had in mind, just make it slightly
Reduce that by one
make it slightly less cool.
I think what happens is Banji and Tomo go up on the deck, and Tomo's never seen Banji use the sword before, and he's used to him kind of getting into the firebending stance, and a defensive firebending stance. Like, when you see firebenders, they're normally very aggressive and stuff, and Banji's very much the defensive line. But as soon as he draws the sword, you see like a a fierceness and a focus on Banji's face and holds the sword very, very professionally. You've seen sword fighters before, and you're like, when did Banji learn this? And very adeptly lunges at you, and you kind of, I mean, you can describe what Tomo does, but like Banji sort of overwhelms you with strikes that you weren't really expecting. And doesn't ever go for like an attack to injure you or anything like that, but just to kind of show you like, yeah, I've learned some skills.
Yeah, putting Tomo on the back foot is
Yeah.
like, that in itself is an impressive feat.
Because we've established in canon that we can manipulate weather and time, I'm gonna say that this happens at night, and because of my metal tonfas on your metal blade, sparks.
Yeah.
Fly.
Oh, yeah.
Not literal sparks, so don't get any. Well, no, sorry, literal sparks, so don't get any ideas. But yeah, it's every now and then, just like.
Yeah.
This is good because we were absolutely going all day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm gonna slightly caveat that to say it actually started like in the mid-afternoon and it's still going at night and the sparks are still flying, and I think that in itself, the fact that you do keep doing this and you keep working and seeing almost where weaknesses within one's form can be. I think after a while, it's very, very clear. It's like, we can actually use this to our advantage. And it is of two equals by comparison to one being better than the other. Now, I'm not saying who might have thought they were better than the other, because I think that those both characters had the capacity to think either. But regardless, at some point, everyone goes to sleep and rest. For probably the first time in a while, everyone's worked hard during this day and gotten a little bit of steam off or distracted themselves. Nuro, you definitely dream, but you don't quite remember. And the pressure's still there, but you don't wake up the same way that you have because you were almost too tired to do that. It didn't take up all of your...
Nuro was secretly studying all night.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
little micro naps here and there. It's just like, yep, never got a chance to... There you go. Never got a chance to dream. Even better. Love that.
yeah.
And in the morning, when everyone's heading down to the mess hall for their breakfast, for Minh Fang to get his extra burnt toast or whatever else it might have been, you hear Arturo say, we're approaching the port.
All right, how long do we have?
I mean, we can stay out here for as long as you need, really.
Yeah, give us. Tell the crew to give us 2 hours. Okay, Nuro has to finish their homework before we land.
What?
Yes. Show me what you've done.
And
Smash cut.
there's like a smash cut of like, just like piles of paper scrunched up, but they hand you a very meticulously made parchment of there's like the characters for like stuffed nose and like just like the weirdest things, like they just like they put
Can I please have a push your luck? I want to see how good this looks.
it's really good.
Well, the dice will tell us that. Nuro thinks it's really good based on that face.
It's not over yet.
Passion.
Passion. Okay, it's a 6.
I'm gonna send Sooty.
Oh, at night to help. That's kind of cool.
Deploy the Sooty. So
Charlotte's web up in here. Let's go.
yeah, I think there's gonna be parts of the night where you're like your head kind of sort of start drifting, and then Sooty's just gonna like poke you in the back, like it's sort of semi acupuncture, just kind of like whoo back, and that makes your letters just that little bit. Sorry, that makes your characters just that little bit sharper, a little bit more precise, and
Gap tooth smile of proudness.
Yeah, Minh
It is acceptable.
looks at this and it's acceptable, which is not good enough.
Technically, it is not a success.
No,
Let's be fair.
technically he asked for perfection. However, he does not have the same like meticulous mean streak as his mother, but he is trying to do it. So he looks at it and he's like, he really wants to be like, this is really good. But he's like, this is, and he looks at them, acceptable.
Oh!
But like, I think it's like, he's trying to foster in you like that. No, like I need the praise. I need the like, tell me it's good. Like I need to know it's really good. Where I think your mother would have been like, yay, you're learning. Good
Yeah.
job. He's like, this is fine.
And like knowing your mum, I think they were expecting like, what is this garbage? And so I think like Sooty on my shoulder, I'm like,
Yeah.
what did you say? It's
Acceptable.
Man said it's acceptable.
And
Then he points at a film. He's like, this is wrong. This is wrong.
starts circling the bits.
This is good. But you did do it backwards.
That means
So just flip that around. Tomorrow, you're going to give me another one of these pages.
2 hours later.
Perfect. And then the day after, you're going to choose more. As Minh is sort of going through with Nuro all these extra things, I think this is an excuse. He's not ready to land yet. And he was just using anything in his power to put it off. He has no idea what is coming. And he doesn't even think this person's going to accept him, let alone help. So I think embodying his mother a bit towards Nuro is getting himself ready for rejection.
Mm-hmm.
After an acceptable period of time, the ship docks down where you know the wharf master named Wharf, so creatively. It's spelled differently, it's fine. Sees the ship coming and doesn't know what it is. And actually there is a little bit of a defensive presence noted, because as much as it looks like a trader ship, it also has a little bit of Fire Nation damage still. Nothing's changed a lot there. No one's still quite certain because they haven't seen anybody they know yet. And I think to everyone's, again, credit, delight, satisfaction, whatever it might be, the town still looks like it's prospering and thriving. It doesn't look like it's been pillaged for a while. It looks like people are doing pretty well still. And I think that the moment whoever the first person off the gangplank is, you see a big smile from the big ship hand, dockmaster.
I think it's Nuro marching down with their lessons, and they're like, "Warp, I can read."
I didn't know that you couldn't, but that's great.
Thank you. And Nuro keeps strolling down.
I think Minh follows it like they're starting to learn how to read.
I think we're going to need some sort of signal here, because every time I see you all, you're in a different boat, and he puts up the air quotes, boat.
I wouldn't worry about it. The harder you think, the worse it's going to be. And also, if it's different every time, you can never tell on us.
That's not at all how that works, but okay.
Sure.
I think you see Hikaru like yawn, and a little bit of flame comes out, and he's like, I see the other boat is still there too.
It's a boat in a boat. It's like one of those dolls that holds another doll, that holds another doll, that holds a... You get it.
Master Worf, see this, and Tomo gestures to Minh. See this young man.
He does a spin.
A spin or a twirl? What's
A twirl, I think.
Yeah, okay.
We are looking for a member of his family. Do you know anyone on this island that has some resemblance to him? Note the forehead and length of hair.
Min's eyes narrow and he turns back to Tomo. Now, Min's hair's a bit longer, but it is distinctly luscious still. So I think he disarms the insult with the hair compliment, and he sort of quickly forgets.
Very vapid.
like a parakeet in a mirror.
I don't think there has ever been a better description of Minh Fang than a parakeet in a mirror. Lucas, could I please get a plead roll out of you? So that's harmony.
Lucas leads for nobody, but okay.
Good news, Tomo wants something.
9.
9. Okay.
Oh, can I help?
Yeah, because spinning.
Yeah,
He's
just
doing the
like
12.
spinning and saying,
You lean the forehead in a little bit closer.
no, I lean in and I'm like, Worf, it would mean a lot if you could lead us anywhere. We're desperately trying to find this person. And I'll mark a fatigue.
Worf stops and has a good look at you, like a really good look at you for the, not the first time, but like is properly studying you. He goes, you know, there is someone that you kind of remind me of. He doesn't live around here. We don't see him all that often, but yeah, you very much so could have someone on this island that is a family member. Let's see. He doesn't live here. He could live in the other town, which is on the other side, or there are a few places that you could potentially live if you could avoid the armies.
They're back at it proper then, I take it.
It never stops.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the fighting's kind of intensified because they can't get anything from us.
Do you know if they're participating at all?
I try and avoid the combat zone. This is you look, and it really does feel great with the people working, unloading their goods. There are still trading ships coming through. Matter of fact, there's probably more coming through than you've seen any other time you've been here.
Okay.
And you get the sense that they are now not only just being able to keep stuff for themselves, they're actually able to export it. So,
Okay.
Nice.
yeah, he's like, I keep my hands full, and what's more, I don't want to be there, so I don't.
Fair enough.
Worf, I remember that when we were here, there was talk of another village on the island. Could you maybe point us in the direction of where that is?
Yeah, and he just takes a piece of charcoal that seems to be sitting around that he tallies things off. And he sort of draws a very, very crude map of the island. The easiest way to describe it, honestly, it kind of looks like, if you think about it as a circle, in both the southeast and the northwest corners, there is sort of extra land formation where in the southeast corner, that's where this wharf town is, as Jesse so aptly tried to name it. The rest is pretty nondescript. It's almost like it is that yin and yang symbol that, from a circular island, there are parts that branch out, but honestly, it just looks almost completely opposite.
Also, can I ask, was Worf, when I asked him the question, was he kind of recognized who I was, or was he just who was this random person talking to?
Absolutely no idea who you are.
Cool. And not surprised that I called him by name?
No.
Cool.
I think he's used to people calling him by name.
He just didn't register who I was, basically. He was just
Yeah,
just another rando.
part of this mob.
Cool.
Worf, we have a bunch of water tribe members here. For taking care of our ship on the island, we can get them to help you in any way you might need.
Oh, I can absolutely put these people to use. Certainly.
Great. Talk to Daj. He's the one in sort of leading the ruffians, so...
Okay. Do you need a place to stay while you're here, or the ship? What's your? Do you even know how long you're going to be here? Last time you were pretty quick.
We're not sure. It depends on how long it takes us to find this guy.
Okay. Look, if there's anything I can do, just let me know. But
Oh, did somebody say disguise?
smash cut.
I don't know how distinctly different we are dressed from the people of Natsuo Island, but I think Tomo is going to insist that we all wear something, to blend in more in case we're caught by one of the...
You go to the local haberdashery, and basically the curtain opens, and you see Nuro, Banji, and Minh Fang all shake their head. No, that's not the right. The curtain closes, and then opens back up, and it's a different outfit. And no, they all shake their head to go. And it's almost like a fruit basket on the head. It's the silly one, and then eventually they go. They just shake their head, and then without seeing what the final one is, all we see is Tomo's hopeful face, and they all smile and nod, and all four of you leave, looking like you're members of town.
I think Minh kind of objects just for one point at the end. He's sort of wait, if they're going to believe I'm a Fang, I need to dress like a Fang, right? Maybe they'll just see me and then be like, that's a Fang. I know a Fang. That's like a Fang.
What if they don't want to be found by fangs, man?
They've got a point.
Yes, you're right.
And remember, there's one very easy way for you to prove that you're a Fang.
That's true.
The ring, right?
Be insufferable.
Actually, several reasons, now that I think about it.
Arturo is sitting on the open windowsill. I just push him. No, you're right. Okay, thank you. And he puts on the potato sack.
That's a very tasteful potato sack.
I miss the beard.
We can still have the beard, Nuro. There are old people on this island.
Remember, you got to
Steal
keep.
their beards.
You got to keep the voice, though. If you start the voice, you got to keep doing it.
I think Banji puts the mustache back on. He likes that mustache.
Oh yeah,
The man who actively does not need it anymore. No one recognizes his face. He's like, now I am in disguise.
But it just wants to belong. It was fun.
And I think that's that's a warm feeling for Tomo. Like he's sort of reminded of like the first time we came and how far we've gone. And I think he might even like do a little nudge to Minh and say, "Oh, don't they look ridiculous?"
They always do.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Enough jokes. All right, follow me. I want to take you up to the hill. Do you remember where we fought the Buster and Bester and
I never want to think about those people again.
Bobby? Was there a fourth guy?
The lost pirate, the drummer.
But
If there was Nuro, if there was, Tomo's definitely done something to him.
yeah, they don't exist anymore.
Did someone else write in the book?
You can cut
That's
that.
not
That was
funny,
just a
bro.
joke.
I know, it's
Meta
great.
joke.
little bit.
That's not funny, bro.
Okay.
Stop that.
Okay.
Don't you even give Banji any more ideas?
Banji just kind of like looks sheepishly and twists his foot.
Yeah, he knows what he's done. All right, no, follow me. I'm going to take you up to this outlook that I saw the fighting at last time. I think it might be a good place to get a lay of the land, and at least it'll take us half a day, but we can get up there and have a look and see what we can see.
Not quite half a day. So just to remind the listeners, this hill that Minh Fang went up the very first time was sort of on his way to where they thought the camp was, where it accurately was. So it is about an hour, maybe 2 hours if you're not going as fast as you could. And this is something that no one properly saw last time. The place looks like an absolute wasteland. There are still fires smouldering from whatever the last conflict was. They still haven't completely gone out. You don't even know whether it was 5 minutes ago or whether it was 3 days ago. It is still there. There are chunks of rock jutting out of the earth that look like they've landed back in the earth. There is just scorch marks across the way. If anyone has ever watched an old, World War I movie or a Civil War movie where the grounds were completely uneven because they just had cannon fire and corpses and so much happening that the whole terrain just became completely uneven. Trees shattered, ground disturbed, grass just will never grow in that patch ever again. And Minh, you are the only one that knows this. It looks bigger.
Min's sort of quiet there, and I think it's like there's a seriousness to Minh that has sort of gone over the japes, and he's sort of just silently looking out at everything. And there's like still fires burning. I'd always pictured Natsuo similar to the very end of the flashback episodes of the Avatar 1 stuff, where you see where one dies, and it's the same scene that Zuko goes through when he's Zuko alone. Like that pathway of just like destroyed everything. Not a tree in sight, just black and rock and earth coins everywhere.
Yeah, even looking at it from a distance, just being down there, it would feel oppressive.
Yeah.
It honestly looks like a hurricane has just been whirling there, King.
I think Nuro, just watching this and just randomly says, my mom always feared this for the swamp.
That's a healthy fear. This
place is dead.
This is worse than last time.
I think that you've seen Nuro almost reach out a hand, almost trying to find life down there somewhere, and their hand just falls.
You do see in this process that the opposing forces at the moment, while not engaged, are not returned back to a camp. It looks like they've set up sort of temporary camps, which is very different than the last time you were here. Last time it looked like, or at least you got the impression that they would battle each other and then go back to their respective places.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's almost like, they're trying to see who...
They're entrenched.
Yeah, a little bit entrenched.
Yeah, okay. All right, I don't know how we're meant to get through this.
Do we think it's worth talking to the army to see if anyone recognizes...
The other bad news is that you actually can't tell which army is which.
Well, when they start fighting again, fire's going to come from one direction, and that's probably the people we shouldn't talk to. Right. I can't imagine... The Fang family's been split across the Fire Nation and the Earth Kingdom for a little bit of time, at least from the beginning of both Fang's time. But we believe the Fangs in the Fire Nation are few and far between, and especially don't have the kind of abilities that we do. One pops up every now and then, but they keep it pretty under wraps. So I pretty confidently believe that my grand uncle will be on the Earthbender side. If he's in this conflict at all, he might just be hiding here or living out his days. Weird choice, bro, but...
Minh, can I get you to please roll and assess the situation?
Yeah. Assess his creativity. Yes, 2, 5, 6. Can I get a help from someone, perhaps?
Yeah, I think as you're talking to Banji about the Fire Nation and the splitting and stuff like that, he's sort of...
I think we go into like war combat
Yeah.
mode and just like pointing things out.
And he's like, I think the way that those tents are set up, that's typically Fire Nation, but I mean, it all just kind of looks a bit higgledy-piggledy.
And most of the time, Earth Kingdom only use straight lines for defense. I don't know what this whole middle section is down there.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I'm going to ask. Thank you.
While you think about that, I think that this moment, Tomo and Nuro watching these two talk military feels foreign to the both of you. Both of you know how to fight and both of you know how to thrive in your own environment, but these are two people talking like a subject that you're not familiar with.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Nuro feels that pressure. 100%. Never being around. Yeah, I think, even I'm even feeling this, like, feeling in my gut, thinking of this war zone. So they're like...
Your dreams kind of feel like they're coming back a little bit. It's like, is this same
oppressive
pressure?
feeling, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm sort of stuck on two options, so I'd like to get the party's input.
I like that.
My first thought was, what should I be on the lookout for? But that definitely seems like a question to find the FANG. But since we're trying to get to this other island, this other town on the other side, possibly what is my best way through?
I'd
be
say
the better
that,
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Ash. What is my best way through?
You actually get two options. So the first option is the longest option. You see that there are several hills sort of between where you're standing on. It's not the only space that one could sort of look down on this, which means you can't quite see the town on the other side. You know it must be sort of behind one of those little hilly mountainous areas. So you could take the long way. You could, in essence, go around the coast and be completely out of sight of the military. The other option, which is much faster, is because they're not engaged, you might be able to make a dash through the middle.
Okay. What he said. No.
What the voice in my head did.
Okay, so we could rush right through, but that will be quite dangerous. I don't know if that's a risk I'm willing to take, but it would get us there within the day for sure. Or we can take maybe the rest, like the day and night, and get to the other side by going around through the hills and the coast. Get there in the morning.
I mean, we're not in any rush. I don't see what the...
Well, we are. And he sort of gestures to Nuro, sort of like looking out.
Right.
And actually, they're kind of looking up at you. And well, Minh, you know how I don't have that secret ability that can reach people's minds.
Yes.
I could maybe find your uncle.
No, I don't really know how your ability works, and I don't necessarily know the risks, but you don't know them, so I don't even know them. How sure are you that you could contact them?
Well, Nuro kind of looks at Banji, because I think this started happening after Nuro left the swamp, actually. Okay. So it's not something that they've had forever, and I think they actually discovered it with Banji.
Yeah.
Actually, like maybe when they got separated and you got on that like sinkhole or something, you know, that's like that out of desperation, they discovered that. Well, I've had 100% success rate so far.
I tell you what, maybe that's our backup. Because if we make no headway and we have no other idea of what to do, maybe then that's when we can rely on it.
So what are you doing?
I have a suggestion. We pretend that one of us is incredibly infectiously ill. We put him on a stretcher and we walk right through that no man's land. We bandage ourselves up. We make it very clear that we are neither fire nor earth kingdom. And if anybody asks, we'll just tell them to get back because they have slug pox.
Slugpox.
I said slut box.
Slug pox, baby. No.
They can't stop slut dropping. Save yourselves, save your legs.
I love that idea. I think that's fantastic avatar shenanigans. However, I am thinking, like, would this situation with these two groups, what's like in my mind? Why wouldn't they just like?
Well, I'll answer that. No matter what you do, there is going to be a risk.
Look,
Minh, when it comes to stuff dealing with us, you're always the first one to say that it's our show and we're running it. I think this is your show and you need to make the decision here.
okay. Well, I think I do like Tomo's idea. Getting there sooner means we can leave sooner, which means we can get to the swamp faster. And worst case, the jig is up and then we throw hands and start running. And as soon as one side sees action, the negative part of this is we'll reignite the conflict, of course, but it will mean that they will forget we were ever there. And also the risk of the fight as well. But, I mean, look at us. Look at us.
Nuro's picking their nose.
When have we lost a fight that wasn't an explosion on a boat? When have we lost a fight? We haven't.
We've never lost a fair fight.
We've never lost a fair fight. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, being wedged between two armies was definitely a fair fight.
Well, like I said, we are hoping that neither side would want to prematurely start anything. And if they see
They're probably exhausted.
if they see civilians not presenting a threat, just walking, my fear, Nuro, is that if we were to try to sneak across,
We could get caught.
they might see us as the enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think Nuro agrees with your idea. I think they're realizing that having some kind of ruse is definitely going to be to benefit, and I think they very dead-eyed almost suggest, well then, I should be the sick one.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, Nuro. You were always going to be the sick one.
They wouldn't kill a kid, right?
Min like sort of awkwardly looks to the boys that are like, we nearly did we nearly did when we were fighting the explosion boy, and
Nuro, I don't know if you remember how we met, but I was sent to kill you.
but Nuro, you're actually right. They would not. They would not.
We wouldn't.
We would not be worth their time. That is the plan. We put up an
And
appearance.
also, you're lighter and easier to carry.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. From Ted, Jesse, Lucas, I want one thing that you're going to do to improve this. At the end of it, Nuro is rolling trick, and I will give extra bonuses based on what you say. Very, very quickly, very, very briefly. Ted, what is Banji doing to help this?
I'm going to warm up my hands and just put them on Neuro's face and try and make them very like red and sweaty and like kind of
Uncomfortably. Yeah. Okay.
And just be like, I'm sorry, we won. It'll cool down. Don't worry. But it'll be this is selling the gag.
All right. If you mark one fatigue, that is +1 to this roll.
I'll mark fatigue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lucas, what's Tomo doing?
Tearing up bandages and wrapping around our faces and our hands, like basically the equivalent of like a quarantine hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. If you mark down, and I'm just going to use this at the wealth that you tend to have, basically you're using a resource. If I remember correctly, it's about 70%, make it 65, and then that is your cost, and Nuro gets another +1 to the trick.
Hell yeah, I didn't have a cost.
No, Nuro paid it.
Minh is going to use some earthbending to separate a lot of the minerals in the soil and make like a really black tar, sort of like dirt and mud that doesn't look like dirt. It just looks like this gross black stuff, and like cover like put it on everyone's face, like coming out of their eyes and out of their nose and their ear on everyone.
Nuro will fully ham it up for you. They'll just eat that mud and cough it out.
Nuro eats it before they realize what you're doing with it.
No,
I suppose it has.
but then you see them like cough and it all comes out black and they're just like,
I
Archer goes, is he okay?
That's good. Do that.
I'm good.
But yeah, I mean, I guess the dirt might have some remedial properties. He's sort of like looking, and he's like looking at just like the pure black sludge he's made. He's like,
Kind of want you to mark guilty for lying directly to a child.
I'll take, if that's the cost, I'll mark the condition.
Yeah, done.
Oh no, Nuro knew it was mud.
No,
Like dirt.
no, you're a-okay. It's you can't stop the guilt train. when it hits, it hits.
Especially with Minh.
Fair.
All right, what is Neuro's creativity?
0.
That is excellent that you now get a +3. I people listening at home, I did not plan that. I'm just like,
Come on, G Money.
Come on, just it's like PAX. Pretend we got an audience watching.
That is a 13.
I was about to say, before you even start moving, like, so functionally, you get kitted up. You think you're ready, and you start moving. And you know that, in essence, there is at least, no matter how fast you move, there is at least an hour you are in open ground where you can't hide. It's just impossible. And for the first 20 minutes, no change, nothing happens. And I feel that people are sweating. I feel that people are feeling this tension as you're moving through. And eventually you see a scout from each side appear. And then after about half an hour, they get a little bit closer. They get that, and you see there are actually a couple of people lined up just in case they need to go. On trick, you get to pick 2. They stumble, take +1 forward, acting against them. They act foolishly. I'll give you an additional opportunity, or they overcommit and are deceived for some time. What 2 do you want, Georgie?
Thank you. I think act foolishly and get an additional opportunity.
Yes.
And overcommit and are deceived for some time.
You see, basically the scouts, as they get that little bit closer to see, they get close enough to see that you all look really bad.
Yeah.
And-
Neuro's
and
like coughs with black.
almost
stuff out.
simultaneously as they get closer, they go, and like start running away. And the people behind them are like, what is it? Go away, go away, go away. And so almost scrabbling to get away from you all.
Neuro's just like reaching out to them.
So they are absolutely going to avoid you. All 4 of you, one big breath exhales from all of you. We got him. We got him. The second part in doing that is, while everyone else is pretty focused and still keeping an eye on what dangers might be, Nuro, you sort of roll your head back and you look up at one of the mountains. I say mountains, the raised hilly areas to the north. You think you'd see someone standing up there looking at you.
Okay. I think Nuro like squints. Can they see any features on them?
Bit too far away.
Okay, I think Nuro just like slaps everyone close to them. Like you're all like carrying me. I think they slap you all and then like point like very like not super obviously up, but like just like nod their head up into that north hill. And I don't know. They don't say anything. They don't want to like break the ruse or anything. But yeah, they point out that figure.
We can start like slowly just veering.
Yeah, are we walking towards that direction? Or?
No, it would be a deviation.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But I will remind you that everyone else has overcommitted and are deceived for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we could do that without penalty. Yeah.
I
Is it
guess
worth veering?
I don't.
Well,
I find it hard to justify character-wise why we would, but
Yeah, to us it's just a random.
yeah. I think it's just like it was more so like someone watching
Someone's
us,
watching us.
not
Yeah, I
necessarily
think
that's
it's like-
that person.
in my brain it's like we are still being
Does
observed.
Nuro see like anything, any color from like what they're wearing, anything at all?
interestingly enough, completely colorless.
Colorless. Okay.
Like the easiest way to describe it is they are wearing white.
All right. I think our priority should be to just get safely to the other side and see if there's another way to.
Without trying to tell you how to play the game, it does stand out to all of you as you go, no, we'll stay the course. Why is one person up there? Like, and I think it just rolls through your head as you keep walking towards the other side of the island. They're not engaged with either. So why are they up there? And you make it to the other side safely.
I feel like this takes, like, this wouldn't be an active war zone if we could cross it within a single day, like within a single hour. I think this, like, moment of, or at least to me, this moment of, like, this hour of getting through was, like, literally either side of the front trenches. That's why it was, like, this bated breath silence.
Yeah.
I would say in total it took you about 2 hours to walk across.
Yeah.
That middle bit.
Like approaching and then that middle bit and then onwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real danger zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think after the better part of a day, we would get to, like, the end of the wasteland space, and then we're like, oh, good job, everyone. That was intense, but good job. I mean, he sort of gestures to Nuro, who's, like, got all their energy because they're a kid, and they also didn't walk across the whole thing.
I think they did bouncing on their toes. Yeah.
But and I'm sure Nuro's great. But
I did good, right?
yes, you did very good.
Arturo pops out from like underneath a sheet or something like that. He's just like, did everyone think that I was a big, disgusting lump? Did it work?
You were a great lump, Arturo.
I try. And birds can't smile.
Y'all saw that figure up there, right?
Yeah, weird.
He wasn't wearing any colors.
Could have been a merc.
A merc.
I will say, actually, after you passed the danger zone and got closer to that sort of safer, still wasteland, but still safer, they disappeared.
Okay, yeah. A merc on Natsuo Island.
Yeah, both sides are paying big money for anyone that can change the status quo.
And they wouldn't wear colors?
Not if they were spying. Not if they were... I mean, there's multiple reasons. We're not wearing colours. We're trying to sneak across the front lines. Who knows? It's worth remembering, though. Maybe we can ask in this other town some person in the hills.
Yeah, there was something about him.
I'm sure if they were looking at us, then they'll find us eventually.
Well, that's not an uncomfortable thought. Thank you, Banji.
Hey, just being realistic.
Well, now what?
We keep going. Maybe we keep the bandages on, though, just to be safe.
Yes.
I can keep eating mud, right?
No, stop eating the mud, Nuro.
As this argument happens, you progress forward to this other town that is on the northwestern side. And if the sun works the same way in the Avatar world, the sun is setting, or at least beginning to make its way down. You see a town that is not doing as well as Wharftown. It's a working title. We'll go with it. It does look like it's sort of doing okay, though, which might surprise you. Like, I think that natural inspiration, that natural instinct is that if one was sealed off, the other would be much harder. But you also see ships docking there too. So maybe they've got something going for them. As you get closer to the gates, which they don't even have gates, actually. I retract that. That was a Banji special. They have some hanging wooden palings that just aren't really doing much at all. You are not welcomed by anyone in particular. You're not immediately shunned or run away from, but no one comes to see who you are.
But no one cares?
No one cares.
Okay.
I think as we approach the town, Banji kind of starts rubbing the dirt off of Nuro and trying to like get rid of the sickness.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to walk in like lepers. And,
Oh,
like,
smart.
Min starts taking off the
Banji.
bandage wrapped around his head and
Yeah.
like, gives his head a shake out, kind of like a dog.
Yeah. I think Nuro and Minh do that at the same time.
Yeah. Tomo wants to look for the wharf equivalent, like Doc maybe. Where's Doc?
I'm very upset because Doc is 100% the name I had in mind.
Very good. Not key?
Yeah, let's go with key.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. You actually.
Jetty.
No, Jetty wins.
Jetty. It's gonna be Jetty.
Jetty wins. You see a woman flitting about in the way that Worf sort of walks around with a massive imposing figure and just seems to have control. Jetty just runs from one space and starts, and so we'll do, and yep, perfect, excellent, and then runs to the next person and it's just like, okay, well, let's get excellent, that's what we like to hear, okay, and goes past and runs past the four of you at least 4 times. Even when you, yep, that's it, like you put the finger up, you make the noise.
I'm not trying that again.
Are they just constantly ignoring us?
Not so much ignoring as they are focused on other things.
Okay.
I mean, you can take it however you want, but that is the best way to describe it.
What are they? So it's just sort of mercantile economic thing. Like they're not like a police or cop or anything or nurse. It's just purely like this box goes here.
This looks like admin, worker, labourer, and overall stress head all rolled into one. We've all met that person. We all know this person.
I think something about the way that especially the way they're moving very fast back and forth, reminds me of their mother a little bit.
Well, I think that, for some people, they'll notice that they could have just gone to everyone in line. They didn't. They would run so much further than they need to talk to the next person, rather than just go, all right, I'll just check in with everybody in a row.
Yeah, I think Nuro sees that and like kind of knew how to stop their mother in that moment, and I want to try it. I think Nuro's just going to grab I need a good snack. Someone give me a good snack.
Dried fish.
And just like times it perfectly to like step in the path of this lady as she walks past, and then Nuro's just like, you look hungry, you have something to eat right now.
Could you please roll with harmony? Because this is a guide and comfort.
Yeah.
I thought you were just going to start crying like a...
Yeah, that's what I was like. I've lost my mom.
That's a 12.
Gosh, damn.
13, actually. Sorry, +2 for harmony.
Killing it on the roll.
They are,
13.
killing it on the roll.
Yeah, and I think it's like a mothering, like, yeah, you gotta eat something. How long you been running around for? You gotta stop right there.
The smell hits the nostrils and you see the pupils dilate,
Yeah.
and it's like, food, and just begins to chomp down. It's like,
yeah.
I honestly can't remember the last time I ate.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
That feels better, huh?
Who are you?
Well, my name is Newt. And if you have a second, me and my friends here could really use a hand. I know you look real busy, but you spare a moment?
Jetty looks and everyone taking that second and eating. The dock is fine. The Jetty is currently running. They go, oh, I'm done. Okay. Yeah. Come with me, and we'll get you settled.
Well, thank you. Nuro gives a thumbs up, 2 big thumbs up to the others.
Tomo's so proud of Nuro. so proud. I cannot express.
Yeah, they're pretty chuffed.
And you begin to walk to what looks like a place that you could stay for the night as the sun continues to go down.
The Book of War is Lucas Lee as Tomo, Georgie Hazel as Nuro, Ted Darling as Banji, myself Jesse Thomas as Minh FANG, and Ash Cooper as our Game Master. The intro and outro, The Book of War remains, and Minh FANG's theme is by Matt Harrison. Now that we're getting close to the end of the year, we have so much going on. Out of the PAX fire into the kitchen, we're recording the next Halloween special, of course, so our patrons will get access to that, as well as we'll be lining up our Christmas stuff soon, which is very exciting. Just a reminder, we usually take December off recording and releasing episodes, so keep that in mind. Patreons, you'll still have access to some new content that we will have to sort of tide you over till the new year. Speaking of our Patreon, go check it out if you haven't already. You get access to loads of stuff. You get Reading the Book of War, all of our additional one-shots, the player character prequels, as well as the bloopers and outtakes, which are pretty funny. Also, don't forget, here at the Book of War, we are affiliated with Arkenforge. So Arkenforge is your one-stop location for all your virtual tabletop needs. So go check them out at arkenforge.com. You'll love their stuff, I promise. You can use our offer code, The Book of War Remains, for $5 off at checkout. The next episode will be out on November the 9th, so we will see you then.
Tomo's got no beef with Banji,
Well, let's do it on.
like they do on the Discovery Channel.
That's getting cut.
Love the kaiju with the muffin bucket.
Still getting cut.
Baby sweat, baby.
Super cut.
Just drive me. I actually know that song word for word.
Yeah.
You would. That's a
do.
big Georgie energy.
Thank you. End of the episode.